Iron Will on X, who starts at the tackles and where this year? Does Wills move to right tackle, Jones at left tackle? What about Conklin, or do they just stick and stay where they are? And again, what about Jack? Good depth for sure. This is I think one of the most intriguing things to look for heading into camp and into this season, into the preseason games for the Browns. I know a lot of people are down on Jed because of where he was picked and the lack of effort it seems at times, but we've also been down on him for that kind of stuff. But we've also said, as a guy who was drafted, until he got injured, he came in as a rookie, started at left tackle, having never played left tackle in college. He transitioned to left tackle right off the rip and anchored one of the top, 3 to 5 offensive lines in football the last, 4 years. So maybe he's not Tristan Wirfs, and we think he's struggled at times, but he's still been a very, we'll call him serviceable left tackle in the league. Okay. Jed Wills wouldn't be on the open market long. He would 100% get signed by somebody if he wasn't on this team. So, but then can you keep Dawand Jones off the field? Right. But then can you keep Jack Conklin off the field? Correct. Because you're paying him a whole boatload of money. I don't know what his money contract, when we can trade or cut and not be out a ton of money. That's one of those extensions that I guess you didn't know that Dawand Jones was going to be that good.
Right. Correct. We didn't have Dawand Jones at that time either.
Yes. So I guess it's, hindsight's 2020 when looking back, but that's a tough question. That's a tough spot.
So Conklin's got a $10.5 million cap hit this year, and he can be cut or traded after June 1st to save. It'd be a $4.3 million dead cap, but we would still save $6.2 toward the cap.
So that's one. He could be a guy that could be on the outside looking in based on money.
Based on money, but we were talking about it before you got here. Like, all three of these tackles ended the year on IR.
I would even justify $10 million. I'd like some depth.
Yeah.
I'd take $10 million worth of depth because...
And if we're not hurting for the cap space this year, our roster is pretty set.
Yeah, right. I agree. But then is Jack Conklin getting benched?
That's the thing that's crazy is I feel like it's tough to say you could bench either one of those guys, Conklin or Jones, because Jones played so well last year. And then I think so people will be like, oh, we'll put Conklin at right and then just put Jones at left. Well, that's a tricky transition to go from right tackle to left tackle.
We just did that with Jed.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think if Jed's healthy, he's the left tackle.
I do too.
They drafted him to play that position. He's played it his entire career. They picked up his option, so they obviously believe in him. And I felt bad because I felt like before his injury, we were starting to kind of see him like turn it on a little bit.
Yeah, he was on the upswing.
You know what I mean? Yep. Like it almost seemed like something was starting to click. We were seeing he was being very aggressive in the run game. Like it looked like he was starting to maybe turn a corner a little bit in terms of just like aggression and fight and effort. Yeah. And then he got hurt, which really sucked to see because it seemed like he was on the uptick. So I think he is the left tackle. And then when it comes to right, I know Dawand Jones was great, and some of the greatness, I'm not going to say it's overblown, but the fact you didn't expect it, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then he was a fourth or fifth rounder. I can't remember. A fourth round pick. He has to come in when you're not expecting him to even play this year. And then he not only holds it down, he plays extremely well. But Jack Conklin's not a scrub.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. And as good as Dawand Jones was in pass pro, I would say he was below average in run blocking. So if Jack Conklin can pass pro, just as well as Dawand Jones or up there with Dawand Jones, but his run block grade's 30 points higher, Jack Conklin's who you play. And I know a lot of fans are going to lose their mind, but the run game suffered last year. And some of that is because Dawand Jones was just not a very good run blocker. I'm not saying he won't take a big leap this year and stuff like that, but if it's not just about the pass pro, it's the complete game. Even if Jack Conklin if he's just a little bit worse than Dawand Jones in pass pro, he's that much better in the run blocking department.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Kenny, you got any thoughts on that?
I just agree on just leaving it status quo. I think Dawand Jones does stay back up. I think as long as Conklin is healthy, right? But I want to see a little bit more bang in that run, and I think Jack will get you there before Dawand does. Also, Dawand didn't hold up for the entire season, right? He didn't play the first 2 games because Conklin was there. Conklin got injured. They didn't last very long. So can he handle his weight the entire year? I don't know. He's not playing against university scrubs. And he did play against good competition, but he didn't play against NFL competition for a full year yet. So I like the depth. I like where we're at. Just let it stay. Let it stay and don't overthink, guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it could be good for Dawand too, just to continue to develop, like you said, in the run game. Just, hey, no pressure this year. We know that you're obviously a future starter on this offensive line, but right now we got Jack, and
if you
keep working.
If you make Jack the starter and Jed the starter, then you can get Dawand like pressure-free reps at both sides, where if you do end up having to make a tough call at left tackle one day, now maybe Dawand Jones can transition into that role because he's not just thrown into it. We're not just saying go be left tackle now this year for starting for us for 17 games. No, he's had a season to learn it and get reps at it and practice and study it and that kind of stuff. So if I had to guess, I would say it's if everybody's healthy across the board week 1, I would say it's going to be Jed at left and Jack at right. But that's just my best guess. I think it's.
I'm just pumped to see what Andy Dickerson has in store for this team. Like maybe the what's his face there. The message got stagnant. Like every year, there's a little bit more penalties. There was a little bit sloppier play, and it just did get better and better. And while Callahan's gone, we love him. Maybe just a new message is going to invigorate all these guys. Or maybe Jones becomes a better blocker. Like, who knows? Like, I'm pumped to see what happens with these guys. And even the assistant, Roy Estevan, apparently he's coming with some great clout too, coming straight from Philadelphia, but he just got out of the college ranks, right? So let's see what they got.
Like I said, my guess is Will's Conklin, but if it's something, nothing will shock me. Really, unless like all 3 of them aren't on the team, then I'd be shocked. But nothing would shock me because it could go. I think it can go like either way.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dawgs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at the Dawgs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedawgspodcast.com.